Hey, okay. Now that you've gotten a basic understanding of how Smart Files works and where to find everything, we are going to think through your client journey. And that is really going to help you discover and really plot out what you want in each Smart File and determine how many you need. Because it's super easy to look at the system and go, oh my gosh, it can do so much that it's almost overwhelming. So let's get rid of the overwhelm if you're feeling that and really pinpoint what you need for your business. Make HoneyBook work for you and not you working for HoneyBook, okay? It can be customized to do so much. And as you continue to dig deeper, and honestly, the more that HoneyBook releases and changes every single day, it's only here to serve you more, you and me. So it can do a lot. So I've come up with a worksheet, and these are the same questions that I ask my own clients who pay a lot more. So you're getting a solid deal today, but this is really important. We're not going to do any work actually on Smart Files specifically, but don't skip this video because this is going to really determine the steps that you have ahead. Let's get started. It's in the course on the website. If you haven't gotten it, make sure you download this worksheet, or you can just start on pen and paper. I recommend for everyone to do that and think through starting from the worksheet is really for you to come up with a list of what you need to create and to help you determine what step comes first. And honestly, I'm gonna go super vague here because only you know your own business and I don't. So customize it as you need to. I'm going to make this a little smaller so you can see my face, but yet also see the worksheet. Okay, so think through why you started a small business and why you started the business that you have. What is the experience that you want to give your clients, and what makes you different from the other, people in your industry? So what you'll see here is you're going to use the to-do list on the right-hand side, and you're going to navigate and just kind of write down the things that you have to do based on each of the steps that you're creating. So hang in there, don't get confused. We're going to start with step one. As soon as someone comes to your website and submits the information on your contact form, what is the first thing that you would do to respond to them? So if you were saying that you needed to welcome them, that's a given, right? So write on your to-do list, send welcome email. What's going to be included in the welcome email? Do you need a call with them? Do you want to send them a services brochure? Do you, just want to say hi and that you'll follow up with another email later? Do you need a questionnaire? What do you need? So put that on the to-do list, whatever that thing is. Most people do a discovery call of some kind, a clarity call, whatever you call it. I do a 20-minute clarity call. Whatever that is, that means that's your to-do list. You've got to set up a way for them to book a call with you. Or if you want them, you don't need to talk to them, you just want them to book it via a brochure, then you need to create a brochure. From there, if you're creating a brochure, I would even go even more granular. What's in the brochure? A welcome page? What do you want them to know right now at this stage in the game? So do they need to see your prices? Yes or no? So for you, you might want to go even further. Do you need them to see a video of the things of how you work? Are you a speaker and they need to maybe see what your speaking style is like? Are you a makeup artist and you just need to showcase your makeup? Whatever it is that you feel like you need to display, write that down because that's going to dictate the pages that you create in your Smart Files. Okay, and then what happens next? Do they book a call with you? Yes, no. What happens after the call? If they didn't respond to you, if they didn't book the call, maybe they didn't, open the Smart File, what happens then? So that's step 3. If the client doesn't respond, how do you follow up? Don't skip that step. Write it down on your to-do list. What kind of follow-up email do you need? Do you need a different kind of brochure? Are you going to have something for them to sort of look at again, to review? Are you sending them to your website, maybe a blog post? Are you sending them a call link? What are you doing? Then usually the conversion rate's a little higher, so we're going to say that you booked this client. What happens after your client pays? You've sent the invoice and the contract, and that's something maybe you want to determine right now. Put it on your to-do list. Do you need an invoice and a contract? Are you just asking for a deposit? What's the payment plan like? Because that's how you're going to structure your smart file. What are you going to do after they've paid? Usually that is the part that most people skip because we've put in so much energy into claiming and trying to get the client and wooing the client and trying to convince them to be our client, that once they've given their left arm and money to you, that's when you're like, oh, I did it, yes. But for them, this is where it starts, because they're like, okay, I just gave you my left kidney, now what? And so what happens next? And that actually is great for you to automate, because then they're not waiting on you. They've paid you. And this is generally when someone would email you like, I just made a payment. Cool. So excited. Or, okay, maybe they text or call you like, hey, where do I go? What do I do? This is when their excitement starts to ramp up. And maybe for some of us, we're like, cool, I'll see you next Tuesday. Cool. All right, but they don't know that. So what happens after your client pays? Do they fill out a questionnaire? Do they need to sign another agreement? Do they just maybe need an email that says, chill, we got you, we'll see you next Tuesday? I don't know. Put that on your to-do list, okay? And then same thing, what happens after you've booked them? What's that process like? Write it down on your to-do list on the right-hand side. Do you need a mood board? Do you need approval from them? Are you just drafting and telling them like, hey, Jill, I'll be with you in a second? What do you need? And that will determine what files you need. Go granular. One more time. Just like the way that we did with step 2, what's the next step going to be in your services brochure? You want to go very granular here and say, okay, if I want questions, how many questions? What kind of questions? Did you already ask them? Do you need multiple pages? Do you want it all on one page? What's the least overwhelming way for you to do this? And then lastly, don't forget to ask for a referral and testimonial at the end. If you're a photographer or a videographer, when do you deliver your files? If you're a makeup artist, if you are an event planner, a consulting, a speaker, when do you send your media kit? When do you send maybe samples? Or, a lot of people ask me to create style guides, so that's a great time to use. So on pen and paper, determine all of those steps. Do that homework. And then we're going to go back to Smart Files in the next video, and we're going to build a couple out, and I'll show you how simple it can be or how complex it can be. Okay? See you then.